Hello, everybody. This is Becky here at Aunt Beck's Creations, and Callie is like right there. There she goes. I wanted to come on and share what we found at the Goodwill and the Salvation Army. And we finally got Greg out the door. He's gone to his very first serious girlfriend's calling hours for her funeral. She was murdered last Sunday, and the family wanted him to come because he and Greg and Rachel had dated for like 2 years, and it was kind of his very first serious girlfriend after getting out of the Navy. And they just didn't work out, but they stayed friends, and she got married and then divorced, and then she was living with this guy, and they didn't work out, and she just recently starting something new, and the guy that she'd recently broke up with came and basically shot her to death last Sunday morning early. So Greg has gone to that right now, and he's been a bit emotional and anxious and easily upset this week, and his best friend hasn't really coped with that well. I'm hoping they can work it out and all. But anyway, such is life, right? So at the Goodwill, I found this Yarn Bee fluffy yarn. I don't know what they even call this. Snuggle Up Mink. And I'm going to pair this with a 4-ply because let me show you. I had a strand where I had it. It's just basically a thin like string in there with this attached to it. So if I pair it with a yarn, it'll be more stable. So I got that for $1.99. And then this book I got at the Goodwill. Keto bread. It's all bread with no gluten. It's keto-friendly recipes for $1. It's a soft cover. And even if we get, like Scott said, even if we get just one recipe out of it that we like, it'll be worth $1. And then if we decide we don't want it, we can slide this into one of the little free libraries, or we can redonate it to Goodwill, whichever. So there's that for $1. And then we went to Salvation Army, and some of you got to see the little short we did as we were, or a little live. It was a short live. We drove by this really unique house that's in Columbia, and I believe Scott mentioned in the video that it is actually on the historic register. Sorry. Oh, my nose. It's because the sun is right there. Oh. But that house with a big round window is on the historic register. So if you look up historic houses in Columbia, South Carolina, you can look up more information of it. If I can, I'll find the page for it and put it in that video's description in a minute. Then back to Salvation Army. Then Scott got a Patsy Cline 12 Greatest Hits. I think we have one that's similar to this, or I've listened to it on YouTube. So we have this now that we can play on our fancy CD changer that we got for like $3 that Scott fixed. And there was like 6 CDs inside that machine. They just donated it with the CDs still in there. I also picked up this here. It's pure Irish linen, 32 count, 100% linen for $1.99 to do cross stitch on. That's a really small thing to stitch over, but for $1.99, pass it up, and it's real linen. And then I also got this one, which is an 18 count, 50% cotton, 42% polyester. No, what does that say? Oh, and 8% linen. So it's a linen polyester cotton mix. but I just like that it has kind of a speckled finish to it. I like that. And that's 18 count. That one I can see pretty easy. Then this was $3.99. And I think I'm going to put you guys down toward the table because Scott said the most fun of that is the fact that you don't know everything that's in it. I did not open this at the Salvation Army. So we're going to go through this real quick. And we also went to Ollie's where good stuff's cheap. And I got a couple books there. Let me put this stuff out of the way over here. Put Patsy over there. Patsy Cline. I love Patsy Cline. All right, so let me put you guys down at the table. And there's Mary. Hi, Mary. And this way I can blow my nose without doing it in front of you, or at least get my nose to quit itching. Oh, so many different smells when you go out in public. So many different smells. So let's see what we got in here. The main reason I got this is it looked like it's all specialty stitching thread. And oh boy. Okay. We've got, these came from Michael's for 85 cents. These are Susan Bates needles, and I think they're for silk ribbon. The holes are real elongated. So there's some really neat, and Michael's hasn't used that label in probably decades. And let's see, what's this? We've got some snowflake buttons. Oh, this is pretty. This is for cross stitch and needle point for beards and animals. Can you see it's got a halo? See that fluffiness? Oh, that does help a little bit. But there's a halo to it. That side you can really see the fuzzy. That is cool. That right there is worth the $3.99. And some pure silk. And this is white. They got this at Michael's before. Michael's quit selling the silk ribbon. I don't know if they've started carrying it or not. But this is really old. But it's all white. So you could dye it yourself with ink tints or, some kind of dye or stuff. I know that Marion at Marion's World, she dyes her own cottons and threads like this. So this is a 7mm silk ribbon, and there's 3 of those right there. So we got some fancy for beards and animals, it says, and then buttons and needles. And then there's some seed beads that they're glass beads, a 10-0 in gold. So that could have been $3.99 on its own. These were from a place called WR Crafts for $1.49. I have no idea what that is. I've never heard of WR Crafts. Have you guys? And it's beading needles. So I'll put the needles together. We got some more buttons here. These are fall leaves. And then some more little glass beads. Glass beads in a 4.54 grams. It says a product of Japan, opened carefully, from 1999. So those are over 25 years old. So, well, I think he's back. Oh, well. I'm going to keep going. These are some seed beads in black. And that's trash. All right, this looks like some floss on a ring from something called Weeks Dye Works, specializing in holdover dyed fibers. So these are variegated threads. See, there's the label. Weeks Dye Works. That's another place I've never heard of. This, it says antique rose, imported from Italy, hand painted in the USA. I think this is silk. I think that's silk. Water Lilies is the brand. A lot of this I've never heard of. Yeah, 12 ply silk, 6 yards from Italy and hand painted in the USA. And then this one is the Karen collection. It smells like perfume, like Halston. Weeks dye is well known among needleworkers. Oh, okay. Good to know. And then we've got, this looks like some charts that somebody has done some words, present and future, one magic. I'm not sure. This is just some to do charts with lettering. Family. I don't know what that says. It looks like they're handwritten. That says the one magic. So I don't know what these are. I'll figure that out later. They're charts. I don't know what they all say, but yeah. All right, then we got some of the floss organizer poly bag system, where you have the plastic bags like this. And there's some more of them here, is what those are. And I bet this is one of the bags for a Ziploc bag. So that I'll put there. I bet that plastic I threw went on here and it had a floss on here. Something from WR Crafts. Very fine number 4 braid. So that's what these are. These here. And this is what caught my eye because you don't see these threads very often in the stores around here. And there was a lot of these in here. You can see the different colors. And I know you can pair these up with strands of DMC to get different effects. There's a whole spool of gold. So Scott was right. Half the fun is just looking through and seeing what's all in here. Some more, these are petite glass beads. There's some more gold ones. I might take these little packages of beads and put them in this Ziploc bag, the tiny packages. Because there's a bunch of them. There's another one. And another one. They liked the different gold pieces. There's a bunch of different golds. This is a frosted glass bead. These are from Japan, these glass beads are, it says on there. I'm going to have to look up WR Crafts and see, you know, what they're about. Interesting. Let's see if I can get all these little packages. This one's got some clear beads in it, some more gold, some more black. And then we got some more of this. This is Arctic Rays. That could be fun to use. That would looks like ice, doesn't it? Then we got some more that's got that fuzzy halo to it. Let's move the silk over. That's more of that whisper. This is Nordic Gold, and look at the price on this. $19. No, it says $19.90, but I bet that's $1.99. They had their gun messed up, I think. Nordic Gold. And this is Arctic Rays. So there's different ones. And this is more the Whisper, so to make hair or animals. That's cool. I've never seen that with the fuzzy bits to it. Look at all these glass beads. So do you think this was worth $3.99 for the whole box? These are $1.19 a package according to these labels from WR Crafts. And get all these in one bag. And then this is a bugle bead, the long ones. All kinds of little beads. So I've already got well over $3.99, and I'm not even down to the bottom of this. Hi, Sophia. There's some more red ones. More gold ones. Good heavens. Some more red ones. And there's some white ones. And that's got a few beads left in it. All right. Is that the end of the beads? There's some beads in there that must have fallen out of one of the other ones. Okay. I think that's it of the beads. So now I got those all in their own baggie. And then we've got some more Nordic gold. There. Put that with that. And then look at this. There's a rainbow one. And this is kind of a charcoaly black and green. Mary might have to tell me what some of this stuff is because I've never used a whole lot of this, but this I think could add a lot of interest to a piece. And I know that these specialty threads like this are not cheap. So I told Scott, I said, some of this stuff you can't get anymore. So I want to get this box. They had some regular DMC floss, but I have a ton of DMC floss already. But these specialty pieces, I don't have, a bunch of them. I have some, but not a bunch. Now I have a bunch. I just got to know how to use them. I guess you just stitch with them like you do the regular thread. That one's really chunky, though. That's pretty thick. Maybe it needs to be couched down because I'm looking at it. I don't know if it's the kind like DMC where you can pull pieces off or not. Krinic Metallics. Probably saying that wrong, but that's okay. It's just us in here. It's all right. We all mispronounce stuff all the time. The people that get really bent out of shape about it, they need to get a life. That's pretty. That's kind of a light blue with a turquoise glistening bit. There's not much of that left. And then this gold is coming undone. Metallic, I think, oh, Becky hit the jackpot. I think they used to enhance a cotton thread 1 strand each. I did find a treasure box, and I was like, well, I'll get that. They had another piece of Ada, but I didn't get it. I don't remember why. I don't think I like the finish on the fabric very much. Look at all these. Look at all that gold right there. There's a whole bunch more. The lid may not fit with those beads inside that plastic unless I take the time to really look at all that. Now here's some on cards. And when they come on these cards like that, I think they're even more expensive. Sampler threads from the Gentle Art. And this is dried thyme. And yes, it does look like dried thyme. I'm just going to wrap this around here like this. And then this one is also dried thyme. And this one's called Oatmeal. And this is more of that Weeks Dye Works. And Does it give a color? Havana. And then this is cranberry, and there's not a lot of that left. And then I've got some that's like this in my case. And this came from Hobby Lobby. This is DMC in the gold. And some beading needles. Those are little ones. And then this stuff here, ribbon floss, it says on it. I'm going to have to look up how to use ribbon floss because I've never used this stuff. Is it kind of like using silk ribbon? I wonder. It's really soft. I don't know what it's made out of. It might be silk. I mean, it's really soft. So there's that. And oh, there's a big long needle here. Probably beading. I'm going to put the needles toward the bottom. Over here. There's a little teeny rubber band. And put this in here. And then I'll put my rows of little spools down here and get it stacked up. And I got to remember to see if I can find the website page for that house that we passed that I went live real quick to show it to you because it is on the historic register. Scott at one time thought it was the famous builder Frank Lloyd Wright house, but I think it was a different builder. I'll have to look it up. It's a beautiful house. It's got that big round window in it, and it's just gorgeous. We always slow down to drool over it, and yeah. Yeah, they had like 2 boxes of DMC floss as well, but I already have my own boxes full, and I thought if I leave that one Ada cloth and then those 2 boxes of colors, maybe a young lady will find it and pick it up and say, I want to learn to do this. One can hope. One can hope that that's what will happen. Can I get these in here? I might have to take these back out just so they'll fit in here. But I'm not going to do that with you guys. I'll just set it in here for right now. And then I've got the fun and fancy yarns or threads. I'll put them in here. I'm tickled to death with this whisper that looks like hair. I've seen some where they will stitch hair like on the back of a head shape. And they'll just do strands and bring it down. And then they'll tie a ribbon around it, and it makes a ponytail at the base of their head. And I just think it looks really cool. Really cool. So I'll put that in there. And then I've got these threads here. So I got some silk. I got some special ones. Here's the silk ribbon I got that was in here. This was just a treasure box. And then these little charts I got to decipher. And the buttons. So I believe that was worth, oh, I forgot these. All of this was in here. Now I don't know how, because we'll see. Will this fit back on? For $3.99. I think I did really good. I got it all back in too. Look at that. And now it's all nice and neat. So I'll have to put that with my stitch cart. My stitch cart. I need a bigger stitch cart, I think. So that was that. And then we went to Ollie's. Let me get you guys back up off my thing here. I'll just talk to you for a minute. Ollie's is the place where they have stuff. And if you don't buy it today, it could be gone. And remember, I made 2 trips there looking for the black trash bags. And Scott spotted them today. And you get 42 bags of contractor type black bags for $8.97. So we went ahead and bought 2 boxes because the next time we go, they will be gone. So Scott scored. And I found a book, Greg's current girlfriend, also Rachel, her dream is to have a cut flower farm. That's what she wants to do. And I saw this little book, The Little Book of Cut Flower Gardening. And it's normally a $16.99 book, but at Ollie's, I got it for $4.99. And I told Scott I'm going to leaf through here and see if I can order some of the seeds for some of the flowers in this book. And this will be part of her Christmas. So there's that. And then Scott spotted Jess's book from Roots and Refuge Farm, Jessica Sowards, but she goes by Jess. They actually live down near where Scott works and Homestead, and her book was in Ollie's, and I got it for $2.99. It's normally $26.99, but it's the Homesteader book. I have her gardening book as well, and you can't beat that. And it's just got all kinds of stuff talking about bartering and managing animals and growing a garden and doing all that kind of stuff. They talk about the animals they have, calves, goats, cows, that kind of thing. I am not interested in any animals like that. I don't want to raise my own meat. I don't want to deal with poop. I did enough of that as a teenager. I'm over it. And I got some on raising rabbits and turkeys and chickens. And, it's just various skills. Look, this whole page is poop is money. But I just thought it would be an interesting read. And it's another one of those, after I read it, if I don't want to hold on to it, I can stick it in a little library and maybe inspire somebody. So I got a Christmas gift set aside, and that's that. And Scott's burping in the background. And I guess we need to close this house up and turn the air on because it's hot in here. All right. So thanks for tagging along. Let me go see if I can find the link to that house. And we'll check back with you guys probably tomorrow to do day 5. We've been doing these each day, and I did the corn today. So we'll do that in the morning. All right. Take care, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye. Bye.